On November 14, Nhlanhla was watching the Madlanga Commission just like you and me. Witness D is on the stand, and he's talking about how on April 15 in 2022, a group of police officers and private security personnel were at a home in Brakpan. They were interrogating a robbery suspect, but the suspect was tortured. He was beaten. His legs were held down while police officers suffocated him with the plastic bag.
As I entered the passage towards the kitchen, I saw one EMPD officer taking a bucket of water to the room where the suspect was being kept.
He pleaded for his life and he begged them to stop. They didn't. He even offered them 500,000 rands in cash, but still, they didn't stop. They killed him. Wait. Nhlanhla's losing his mind while he's watching and listening to Witness D speak about the suspect. He is hearing all of this for the first time. And the suspect is his brother, Emmanuel Mbense. This is the story of how, 3 years later, no one has been arrested for the murder of Emmanuel Mbense. The man who exposed how Emmanuel was killed, Witness D, Marius van der Merwe, has also been killed. And there is a hit list. More people are going to be killed.
There's a hit list, apparently, as per what the information is. Marius was on the hit list, Etienne's on the hit list. A lot of people that was mentioned in the Madlanga Commission apparently is on the hit list. And apparently it's a crew from KZN that's doing the hits.
Welcome to True Crime with me, Julia. On this channel, we look into true crime cases that have happened in South Africa. At this rate, the Madlanga Commission has left us feeling helpless, by all means. So we have been covering the Madlanga Commission through the voices of the victims of the alleged accused persons who were mentioned at the commission for the past few weeks. And then on Friday, Witness D, Marius van der Merwe, was killed. If we are leaving you behind on the story, please kindly catch up with our previous reports. And if anything, please kindly let us know in the comments. A lot of us have been following this case together here, and we will chat with you in the comment sections if you need any summaries. Otherwise, if you know any additional information about this case, please also kindly share in the comments. It is important that I mention that the story is based on allegations. The commission is still underway, so let us all keep in mind that this story is based on allegations. So let us start with what happened yesterday, December 10, 2025.
Flowers are being brought in, and from where I am, as you can see, walking in there, two commissioners from the Madlanga Commission, Advocate Sandile Khumalo SC as well as Advocate Sesi Baloyi SC, who are walking into the house carrying some flowers. Carrying the flowers there is the spokesperson of the commission.
The commissioners at the Madlanga Commission visited the home of Marius van der Merwe. Marius, as I mentioned earlier, is one of the witnesses who testified at the Madlanga Commission, which is investigating allegations that were made by KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mbense on July 6, 2025 during a press briefing. Nhlanhla Mbense made allegations that there is an unhealthy relationship and an illegal one between law enforcement officers and criminals in our country, which often stands in the way of justice. Marius testified on November 14 at the commission while he was on camera, so none of us knew who he was. And then on December 5 at night, outside his home in Brakpan, he was shot and killed in front of his wife and children by unknown men who fled in a Chevrolet Bakkie and a sedan. Now, before we got here, this is what Marius told the commission.
You say that you fear this group and
Yes.
others like them. And you fear what they are capable of doing to society. My question to you, what do you believe the commission can do to address your fear or to stop your fear from being realized?
Commissioner, at this stage, I am frustrated with the legal process, that, especially with this incident and others preceding it and others that may follow it, with the judicial process that's taking place. These offences, these crimes are well documented. The whole world knows of this. But there's no action being taken against these individuals. I mean, my incident where I'm physically involved took place in 2022. It's to a point that I am having to do my own security as well. I'm having to do PERSEC runs, OPSEC runs, just to ensure that myself is safe, my clients are safe, because they might even target your clients.
At the core of his testimony, Marius placed suspended EMPD head Julius Mkhwanazi at the home of Emmanuel Mbense. This on the night that Emmanuel was killed. He said after the police officers allegedly killed him, they called Julius to come and help them clean up the crime scene and to get rid of Emmanuel's body. And Marius said his role was not only to hold Emmanuel's legs when he was being tortured. He says he went outside while they were busy interrogating Emmanuel. And then a few moments later, everyone broke into panic mode because Emmanuel had died. And then they called Julius. He arrived. He had a brief meeting with some of the officers, and then he came back and told Marius to get rid of Emmanuel's body.
Chief Soup, Julius Mkwanazi, JD Mkwanazi arrived at the scene, and we were informed that this is the chief in a dark tracksuit of some sort.
At this time, apologies, witness, at this time, did you know who Chief Superintendent Julius Mkwanazi was?
It was my first time seeing him that evening, and then it was obviously when Yaku indicated to us that this is Mkwanazi, Chief Soup Mkwanazi. Shortly afterwards, they returned to where we were. JD Mkwanazi said that we needed to throw the suspect's body into a mine shaft or dump it into a dam. As he said this, he looked at me.
He says he was directed to take the body in his bakkie and dump the body at either a mine shaft or a dam. He says he dumped the body at a dam in Nigel. So let's backtrack a bit. Before this whole incident, who exactly is Emmanuel? Now, for the longest time, 3 years to be exact, we didn't know anything about this man until Witness D testified. And even then, we didn't know who this robbery suspect was. No names were mentioned. He was just known as a robbery suspect. So we have already brought in Emmanuel's brother Nhlanhla earlier on. So let's take it from there. On November 14, Nhlanhla is watching the commission. He then hears about this robbery suspect that was tortured. It is clear to him that Marius is talking about his own brother. Then 4 days later, Nhlanhla and the family approach AfriForum about this. AfriForum does private prosecution. If you don't trust the state to prosecute for you, or if you have exhausted every avenue when it comes to the state and prosecuting for you, you can approach AfriForum. So with good reason, Nhlanhla and his family tell AfriForum that they want justice, and they tell them that this man who was tortured is their brother. He is a father of 5 children. He is a 51-year-old man, and he's originally from Mozambique. He's the family breadwinner, and he takes care of his children and his mother. Emmanuel is allegedly wealthy. He is, however, involved in dodgy businesses. On the day of the incident at his house, he was accused of allegedly robbing a warehouse. On that day, he was found with 500,000 rand cash in his house. He was found with a warehouse robbery case docket. He was also found with SAPS forensic bags and live ammunition. So we are not talking about an ordinary man here. While he was being tortured, he allegedly offered the police 500,000 rand to leave him alone. Whether they took the money or not remains unclear. What we do know is that Emmanuel was killed, as Marius said, and Marius didn't lie.
Well, our first step, we've written to the director of the Independent Police Investigating Directorate, and we have asked for, first off, a comprehensive update on where the case stands at the moment, because the family of Emmanuel Mbense has been asking for answers for nearly 3 years, and they kept being told by the police and Ipid that we're still investigating and arrests are imminent. Well, we know this hasn't happened, so we're asking for that comprehensive update, but we also want an explanation for why after 3 years there hasn't been any development. We know from the evidence of Mr. van der Merwe that he was talking to Ipid as far back as July 2022. And early in 2023, he had already conducted a pointing out of the crime scene and where Mr. Mbense's body was dumped. So you have to ask, you have a witness who himself says he was a 204 witness. In other words, he was prepared to incriminate himself in a criminal trial if he testifies for the state. So Mr. van der Merwe admitted to being part of the torture. He admitted to being there when a man was murdered, and he admitted to dumping somebody's body in a dam. You've got that person who is available to testify, yet Ipid doesn't bring this matter to conclusion and doesn't ensure that it gets enrolled. Well, we want answers. So do the family.
His body was dumped at Duduza Dam in Nigel. Marius says he left him facing up, and he says after he left, he was not okay. He called his wife and said that if he doesn't come back home alive, she must just be ready because the circumstances where he was were not good. Marius says he did get home though, and then he decided to report the incident to Ipid. Ipid did confirm that they received the case, and as of today, the case is in advanced stages. 3 years later, no arrests, Nothing. But they say it is in advanced stages. And if, like me, you're already asking, why isn't Julius Mkhwanazi and his crew already in jail? Well, no one knows.
We have found one of the vehicles that were used during the shooting. Apparently there were two vehicles used, a sedan and a bakkie. So we found the bakkie vehicle. On the evening of the murder of the deceased, a video footage shows the white bakkie pulling up around here, and did some observations, but there was also a darkish hatchback vehicle that was seen on the scene. For now we have found only one. We are still looking for the other vehicle. At this stage we do believe that the bakkie that was abandoned in Alexandra Township is the right one, which was doing some observation here, and as I said, we are looking for the other one. So according to our crime scene experts, they will do investigations on the vehicle, and we also have 3 persons of interest that we believe can assist us in resolving this case. We've taken one in for questioning.
But here's something else we do know. 2 days before Marius was killed, he reached out to ENCA journalists and Crime Watch activist Yusuf Abramjee. He told them that he knew that his days were numbered and that there are people that are after him. He wanted to go to ENCA and do an interview to expose those people and also expose how government officials are involved in Zamazama networks.
I would like to talk to you about it. I would like to get my story out in public. In terms of the role players from state that's facilitating the illegal mining problem, the key stakeholders that's facilitating this. I've got all the intelligence on that.
Well, this particular interview did not happen. But what did happen is that Marius was allegedly not the only person who had bullets with his name on. There's an alleged hit list, and apparently more people are going to be killed right in front of us.
There's a hit list, apparently, as per what the information is. Marius was on the hit list, Etienne's on the hit list. A lot of people that was mentioned in the Nhlanhla Commission apparently is on the hit list. And apparently it's a crew from KZN that's doing the hits.
At this point, it is clear that Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mbense has opened a large can of worms.
I, fortunately, am a citizen in this country. My families are spread across different provinces. So it is my duty and the fellow police officers to protect them. So I'm not going to surrender their freedom. I'm not going to surrender their safety to anyone. So I will die for this badge. I will die for them. So I will fight this fight until the end. Wherever the end is, we will fight.
Well, the safety of South Africans is in jeopardy. At least Mkhwanazi still has a firearm. He still has a men and women that he works with. He can still somehow protect himself. There are men and women out there that are vulnerable, they've got no one to protect. So we can't be worried about our own safety, we must worry about the safety of the citizens. So ours is to go out there and lay our life to protect them. That is my only concern right now, not about my safety. You know, everyone shall die. The time will come. If it comes, it comes. But if an enemy comes to you, attack the enemy. Don't allow the enemy to take advantage. You can't just lie with your arms in your hands like that. You have to fight. So that's what we are doing now in KZN, and we shall fight. And this fight is very big. So it needs people who are committed. People who are not worried. No, they're going to chase you. They're going to arrest you. Get out of that prison and fight. They're going to suspend, they're going to dismiss you, they can get you out of the police. When you're out of the police, join men and women in the private sector that are dedicated in dealing with this criminality and fight from outside. That's why we're calling on them to also join us to fight. That is not going to stop. So I'm not worried about my safety in as far as these investigations are concerned.
What are your thoughts on this case so far? I'm sure it is way far from over. And how do you feel about the entire state of our country? Let us talk in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one.